Arguments against proclivity to illegal practices. In the last few years, we have seen a few hunting cases make international headlines. Perhaps most notably in recent memory is the killing of a male lion, Cecil, in Zimbabwe in July 2015 at the hands of a North American hunter. In his paper, Dominion writes that this particular hunt sparked international outrage, mainly since several alleged aspects of the hunt itself, such as baiting close to the national park boundaries, were done illegally and against the spirit and ethical norms of some of Africa's well-managed trophy hunts. Despite the international backlash, Dominion argues that the legalities over biological, ethical, and also financial aspects of the hunt and the hunting industry are regularly ignored in many sub-Saharan African countries where management and government structures are ineffective. Selective harvesting as a human-induced evolutionary change. Duhard in his 2016 study equates that trophy hunting as selective harvesting. He argues that purposeful removal of certain traits in the gene pool may lead to faster than normal evolutionary changes. In his study, focused on bighorn sheep, trophy hunting removes male with large horns. The example he tries to illustrate is easy to follow. By providing a clear reproductive advantage to males with smaller horns, the trait itself is passed down onto the offspring, thus eventually reducing the availability altogether of desirable bighorn trophies. Lastly, he posits that these consequences can be avoided by limiting the amount of offtake. Ripple, Newsom, and other authors also elaborated on the matter. They observe that artificial selection typically leads to a rapid decline within a few generations in the desired trophy attributes within the hunted population. One example of the traits affected is, as Ripple comments, body size, which in its own may be linked to other fitness-related attributes such as physiological tolerances or disease resistance, and thus, by eliminating this trait, it would lead to the decline in fitness. He concludes that these selective pressures amount to domestication, and they will vary as a function of hunting intensity, duration, and population size, and evidently fluctuate among species. Canned lion hunting. 3 authors from 3 different studies commented on this, but it was Dominion who coined the term canned lion hunting in his 2016 study, and that is what we will start with. Canned lion hunting is where future trophy targets are bred, raised in captivity, and kept in confined enclosures until shot. This is to ensure that hunters are guaranteed a kill. In South Africa, which is by far the largest exporter of lion trophies across sub-Saharan Africa, 80% of the trophies between 2009 and 2013 were from lions raised in captivity or ranched. In the second study covered at this point, Ripple also argued that canned lion hunting, as well as any other species, can also distort community structure and function on game ranches. Less valuable species are replaced by more valuable species, or predators are persecuted to protect valuable large herbivores, which are the considered trophies. Ripple argued that fencing on game ranches can also fragment wildlife populations, leading to the disruption of dispersal and migratory movements, inbreeding, and loss of heterozygosity. Lastly, he concludes that if trophy hunting dramatically distorts both community structure and function, other potential ecological consequences could include changes to predator-prey dynamics, herbivore and plant interactions, and density or behaviorally mediated trophic cascades. The third and last study to cover this was that one done by Lindsay, Alexander, and others. In it, they contrast how the captive-bred lion hunting industry in South Africa has grown rapidly, while conversely, the number of wild lions hunted in other African countries have declined. Some figures they show: in 2009 and 2010, 833 and 682 lion trophies were exported from South Africa. This amounted to more than double the combined export, which was 471 in 2009 and 318 in 2010, from any other African countries. As parting remarks in their study, Lindsay and others stress out that owing to the increasing size of captive bred hunting industry, as opposed to wild lion hunting, even a marginal overlap in demand could affect wild lion hunting significantly. If captive bred lion hunting were ever prohibited, a transfer of demand to wild lion hunts could lead to elevated offtakes with negative impacts on wild populations.